All right, you are looking at Mason Taylor. We're going to get back to him in just a second. He's a tight end that the Chargers could go for. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel fully dedicated to the LA Chargers, and we're Jim Harbaugh fans, so we just started following you, and here we are. We're almost 10,000 subs, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, just to get us to 10,000 subs. I don't even know what it does to be at 10,000. Just kind of looks cool, I guess, but hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. And, okay, we talked about it. Joey Bosa is probably gone. So I was like, still really need that defensive end. So I think you can see that there's a way in which the Chargers get Micah Parsons. And you think, well, why would they do that? Let's take a look at it. Micah Parsons could be the guy that takes over for Joey Bosa. You got Khalil Mack, who's also like, is he going to retire? Not. Like, what's going to happen? And so if you look at it, he was not happy. Hold on, let me find it. Parsons wasn't happy with the decision to part ways with Mike McCarthy, and he's on his last year of his remaining deal. So this is an opportunity for them to get rid of him, get some capital back, start to rebuild. The Cowboys are not where they want to be. They've got Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb making a lot of money. Can they give it to Parsons as well? So this is one of those interesting ones where you have to pay him. You know, you wouldn't trade and then just be for a 1-year thing. You'd have to trade for him and pay for him. But because the Chargers are in great shape financially with the cap space, this is something that they could do and really expedite. All right, we weren't getting the production out of Bosa, just plain and simple. He can walk. We can get production. You could actually do some sort of a trade for both of them. Of course, the Chargers would have to give up more to get him, more as along with Bosa. But let me know in the comments if you want that or not. I think Parsons is really good, and he just gets a bad rap in a way just because he's for the Cowboys, so everyone wants to pretend like they hate him, but they also know it's like, yeah, he's pretty good. But you've got that like, he sucks. It's like, well, no, he plays for the Cowboys. I know you don't like that, but he's a good player. Now, we're going to get back to that in just a second. But one of the things I think I want to talk about that's been really overlooked, tight end is a spot that everybody really wants, rightfully so. This is Mason Taylor, who, by the way, is son of former defensive end Jason Taylor, stud. So a lot of people have been looking at the Penn State tight end and also the Michigan tight end. Don't forget about this guy. And this is where the Chargers have been so good. Well, were so good last year in their first draft. Everyone's like, tight end. Yes, it's much needed, but why don't you get a tight end maybe in the second or third round? Let me explain and show you how this could happen. This is an eye chart. I don't expect you to be able to see all this, but there's 4 tight ends in the class. I think Colston Loveland's number 1. I'm probably biased. I'm in Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan. But Colston Loveland, you got Fannin Jr., Mason Taylor, and Tyler Warren. Point is, some of these guys are going to be available in the second, maybe third round. This is where scouting and knowing what you're doing pays off, because we take that over to, let me see here. We take that over to the Chargers kind of mock draft, and you can see how this would play out. Round 1, pick 22, you could get Barron, corner out of Texas. Love it. Love corner. I can explain why I like corner so much in here in just a second too. But then round 2, pick 55, there's Mason Taylor that I was just talking about. Tight end before receiver here for Chargers for good reason. The system with Greg Roman in charge doesn't place a ton of value on wide receivers. Jim Harbaugh doesn't either, and you have one in Ladd McConkey. They need better and more consistent receiving production out of the tight end room. Mason Taylor's a versatile weapon that can line up all over. So take it back over here. I'm going to scroll down, and you can see that this guy, again, this is some rough footage, like, highlights, but he's got the size, the strength, the ability, the pass catching ability. He'll put on a little bit more body weight, and a tight end changes your world. I've witnessed it firsthand with the Lions. The Lions had some decent tight ends, and then we draft Sam Laporta. Like, oh yeah, he's kind of. I think I know him, or He's pretty solid. Comes in, complete star. And defenses don't know what you're doing if you have a great tight end because they're in every play. And it's like, is it a run or a pass? He can split out. He can go in motion. Think how many matchups can be manipulated with a tight end. That is why a tight end is so important. Go in motion, an H-back, wide receiver, slot, standard tight end, jumbo sets, fullback. Put these guys in position. So now let me go back to why you take a corner at your first pick. Supply and demand. There's not a lot of corners, and there's more wide receivers each and every year. Wide receiver, just you tend, if you're a star athlete, you just generally tend to be a wide receiver. So you've got every year, I'm using rough math and I have no numbers to back this up whatsoever, but you let's just say 10 stud wide receivers come into the league every year and 6 corners that are studs come in. So now we've got 4 guys that can't be covered, right? Again, I'm using just rough math, but you get it. So it's like if you can get your hands on one of these corners, they're just hard to find and hard to get. So you want to do that. So I think that's fine going with corner there. Now, go back to Micah Parsons. Let me know in the comments on that one. I think Micah Parsons could be a great pickup for the Chargers going into 2025 because remember, this year was all about just setting the foundation, and it was set. Oh, my gosh. Again, go back to the Lions. The Lions, first year, Dan Campbell and crew that are now just juggernauts, just studs, went 3-13-1 in that first year. And if you ask me, I'm like, that year was awesome. I know it sucked, but it was awesome because you could just see, like, man, just doing the right things, foundation, playing hard, playing just, all the stuff was just there. Same thing with the Chargers. But you went to the playoffs, and it just tells me that there's some teams in the AFC right now, just the way the NFL is kind of built right now, that are just not that great. Beat up on them a little bit. Your division, you got one of those with the Raiders, kind of win those. It's going to be good for years to come. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Even if you're not new, right? If you just have not subscribed, get us to 10,000. I think 10,000 is money. Just is. 10,000 just feels good. Maybe we'll get to 15. Maybe we'll get to 20. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see all of you on the next one.